Listen, Jan, a couple of Thursdays ago, we made history with Mr. Logan Eastham of Extraordinary Heights, Shannon Alexander, and we did a whole bunch of conversation about his story, which was just glorious. It was inspiring. It was visionary. But I wanted him to spend a few minutes with you this afternoon because he's doing, I think, some amazing things on social media. So he agreed to come in a few minutes on his day off to chat. So if you didn't have an opportunity to hang out with us on that evening, make sure you either go into our YouTube page or just scroll down, a few feet and watch that. And we even had an edited version of it. But in a nutshell, Logan had just a great year in 2016 at 85 grand on a W-2. Blew it out of the water in 2015 at 105, trending to do 10% more in 2018 at 115. Level for a 27, average ticket 116. I mean, at a $51 woman's haircut price, that's 2.5 times. So I was with him on a couple of occasions, and he's got color stains on his fingernails, so he's a Bali Lama for sure. Referral Rainmaker, rebook 90% RTS at 15 points. And what he really is, in addition to just being a great human being and a masterful hairdresser, is he's really innovating some extraordinary stuff on social media. iPhone X, which means he's in the game big time. That's a big 1,761 followers on IG. 90% of his guests follow him. He's doing about 30 guests a week because he's working with an associate. In any given week, 15 photo shoots, probably 20 shots a shoot. And, he really has kind of his way in 7 poses on getting just great pictures. Associate, and he's going to be talking about how he works with his associates in his photo shoots and even doing some work on slow-mo video, airdropping stuff to his clients. I was just chatting with him a few minutes ago in the green room. He's doing some interesting work on Snapchat, and now he's even on his radar. He wants to use Facebook Live to do some real-time work and to promote himself. So without any further ado, keep your fingers crossed that the Wi-Fi gods are working so that I can bring him up, and let's see if he's going to be there. He is there. Give it up for Mr. Logan. Give it up. Give it up. You guys. How you doing?
Doing well. Happy Sunday, everyone.
Excellent. Well, hey, listen, I know it's your day off, and it's a day of R&R with you and the fam, and I won't keep you real long, but I want you to really help show up a little bit on your social media piece. And one of the aspects of it was the photo shoot, and you were talking about how you're now working with your associate in photo shoot. So tell us about that, Logan.
Yeah, it's an amazing thing, and it almost kind of happened by accident. My associate Sydney, she was like, "Hey, we were running short on time." She said, "Do you want me to take some of these photos for you?" And I said, "Yeah, well, let me show you how I do that." And it was kind of an eye opener that I needed to be teaching the social media aspect of our industry, and it took off from there. She watched me, pose the guest and talk to them and make sure they were comfortable with what they were about to do. Because not everybody is, friendly with the camera. But, with enough, talking to them and complimenting them, they feel beautiful enough after their service that they're ready to show off what they just got done. So that's a really big part of it for me and a really big part of it for my associate.
It's going to be interesting because I know that your lineage of, sooner or later that associate is going to be on the floor in a level. And in addition to, what you're teaching them about, the art part of hairdressing, the finishing and the design and the color, the guest handling, now by having them involved intimately in your social media work, I think that's going to put nitroglycerin on their bonfire and probably get them through the level system even faster than before.
Absolutely. I mean, I will honestly have to say that my growth wasn't, just absolutely massive before the whole social media movement. Once I really got involved in Instagram and Facebook and started posting my work and posting the experience that my guests were having, honestly, it was a little bit slower. And being that my associates are going to understand the social media aspect, it's going to set them up for success later on. And it's amazing to me, I go to, hair schools, local hair schools, and I teach, business building and consultation. And one thing that was bringing up is, do we have to have an Instagram? Do I have to do Facebook? I just hate it. And my answer now is just yes. It's an amazing thing. It's going to set you up for success, and it's going to bring money in. That's the end game there.
Yeah, yeah. Now the other part of what we really I wanted to make sure that you had some opportunity to talk about is you have 3 keys that really kind of make up almost like the way you serve the guest in real time, the experience that they have, and then you tie that into social media. So talk about those 3 keys.
Absolutely. Honestly, you have to love your work, and you really have to love your guests. The best compliment for me is when somebody says, I told my friend what an amazing experience I had at Shannon Alexander Salon and Spa in your chair. And that brings me to a point that I was talking about earlier with, Snapchat and Instagram stories and live feeds. My guests are sitting there and I see them Snapchatting their friends, what they're doing. They're excited, they're pumped to be getting their hair done. They want to share this experience with people. So something new that I've been doing is making sure that myself and my associates are involved in their Snapchat experience. So I say, why don't you post a snap of us blow drying your hair today? And I'm telling you what, I had a referral the other day that had never had 2 people blow dry her hair before. So she was feeling like Beyonce, saying she felt like a queen. And I said, well, why don't you make a post about it? And she did. And I ended up with 2 direct messages on Instagram from people that follow her, letting me know that they would love to come to the salon and come see me. And so it was awesome.
Yeah, you're the first hairdresser that I have spoken to that now is close enough to where you've, through your evolved understanding, is learning how to naturally, I'm going to call it monetizing Snapchat, where you're not using your Snapchat page, but your guest is in your chair. They're pulling out their Snapchat and they're sharing their experience. I'm getting goosebumps right now because this is so exciting to me. They're sharing their experience in real time with their followers while they're in your chair, and that's getting their followers to direct message you going, oh my God, this is amazing. I think you're on to the next trend, my friend.
Well, her exact words were, at Logan Marcus Eastham Hair, making me feel like a queen today.
And that she was using her camera to take snaps. It wasn't yet. It's not about video as much as her just taking pictures, and then immediately they're going on her feed.
Absolutely. And then the other keys, that we were talking about is we take and share photos, but I honestly don't put pressure on my guests to tag me or post those photos. I give them to them as a reminder of the awesome experience that they had, and if they choose to do so, I just remind them, if you're feeling yourself, if you're feeling beautiful, feel free to give me a shout out and tell them who gave you that beautiful hair. And I find that giving that approach and having a no pressure approach, but planting the seed there, honestly, is more successful. It makes them feel like, they're doing it for you. They're happy. You gave them a gift of beautiful hair, and now they are giving you the gift of a repost and a possible referral from that.
I just because it's so organic, it doesn't feel commercial. It's like this natural part of an organic experience that I think just in your guest mind, it's like, I'm loving this big time.
Yeah. That's where it comes to be. You just have to be natural about it.
Yeah.
And they're sharing that good relationship that you have.
Well, there's 2 other points I want to get from you before we sign off, and that's that third key. You say to me all the time, Michael, the culture is as much of the social media guest in real time experience as the photo shoot. And I really want to make sure that you pass that on today. What do you mean by the culture?
So I explained this last time a little bit where I said it's kind of easy for people to maybe say they come into the salon for the Logan Eastham experience. It's not that. It's just the Shannon Alexander's salon and spa experience, and I'm just a part of that. And for them to be able to document in real time is an amazing thing, because not only do they get to see the hair, the process, the time frame, but they also get to see the beautiful salon environment that I work in. They get to see the relaxing shampoo room with the reclining heated massaging chairs. You know, they get to see those things that are honestly a huge selling point and a huge factor of why our salon company is so successful.
I love this part of the conversation, Logan, because you're saying the whole is greater than an individual part or even the sum total of the individual. So that while there's the experience that your guest is having in your chair through the expression of your art, how you're interacting with them, the photo shoot, you're saying yes, however, the brand, the experience of the brand as a whole, the culture, the ambiance, and everybody around the community, that's as much a part of that, so that's what gets the guest to come back and send the world into you as any experience that they're getting from you one-on-one. At least that's what I think I'm hearing in this conversation.
When my salon company grows, I grow.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Now, before we sign off, you got your latest, greatest idea on Facebook Live, and I know it's a glimmer in your eye, but tease us with it. What is that?
So it's definitely something I've thought of for a little while, and especially with working with Snapchat here recently, and being with Michael on Facebook Live. You know, these social media outlets, they really push live feeds. And something that I've thought about doing is having like live styling sessions. So if I can not only introduce, you know, the salon culture, the environment, the work I do, my associate, but I can also introduce the products that I use and be able to touch on the retail side of things to get people excited, you know, to come in and be educated about what they're doing to achieve their look.
I absolutely love, and I know the idea right now is a glimmer in your eye, but I'm going to stay very close to you, my friend, because if I'm listening to this right, you're going to use the Facebook Live feature to actually, in real time, when your guest is having the experience, that you're sharing that experience to the world, your world in real time, on your page, but also you're demonstrating to the world what it is you're doing to, whatever you want to call that, beautify, enhance, what you're using that's supporting what you're doing. And I have a funny feeling that that's going to be the next right answer in the evolution of social media.
I hope so. I'm thinking I'm going to have to take that leap of faith here soon and feel really comfortable on Facebook Live.
Well, I'm going to ask if I'll stay close to you, and when you feel like you've got something that's kind of beyond a glimmer in your eye, beyond a concept, but it's really working for you and it's working for your guest in the salon, I'd love to have you back to do an encore to talk about that piece, because, like I said, I think that's the next answer.
Absolutely. I'd love to, Michael.
All right, listen, I want to get you back to your fam. Thanks for taking some time out with us this afternoon. And on behalf of everybody, give it up for Logan one more time, you guys. We made history again, my friend. Have a good afternoon with your fam, and say hi to Shannon and the crew.
Absolutely. Take care. Bye.
All right. It was a beautiful, beautiful ending on this thing. What I think what Logan is doing on his social. And by the way, you know, I mean, we had on his PowerPoints what we wanted him to share, and he shared that beautifully. You know, when he was talking about the photo shoots and his 3 keys. But what I'm really, really excited about, you guys, was that what he's doing, I should say, what his guest, and I'm assuming, you know, the front end of the 20-something, the teens, Snapchatting in real time in his chair. Not his page, but his guest page, where they're sharing their experience in real time via Snapchat. This is the first time I've heard somebody get as close to monetizing the Snapchat platform that I've ever heard. And it was just out of the blue, and I went, oh my God, you got to share that with the world. And then the other part of that is he's just on the front end of using Facebook Live, where when his guest is in his chair, through getting the permission of the guest, let's share with the world not only the experience that you're having in real time, but how I'm teaching you what I'm doing, what I'm using to support what I do. Don't look now, my friends, but I think Logan is on the front end of something extraordinarily innovative. So that's it. Again, I want to, if you're new to us, hang out on my Over the Top Michael Cole Summit. Hang out on Instagram, and now we've got a social media team of coaches doing virtual coaches. Luke Hofstetter, and his team, Tim Fisk, and Jennifer Boutwell, and Kayla Ray Dickerson, Kim Light, Elizabeth Einstein, and Joe Atang now are available to help get your people on-ramped on the social media platform. So if that's something that's interesting to you, go ahead and call the Summit's 800 number, 800-718-5949, and hang out on the .coms. Continue to watch the YouTubes. Make sure that you're taking advantage of all the new, and I was just on Luke's first session, virtual session online. He's got like 50 people that he's taken through boot camp, and he's teaching them how to use the calculators that I thought was extraordinary. So thanks again, L'Oreal PPD. Thanks again, Salon Centric State and RDA ProMart and Salon Business Center, because of all of the work that you're doing with us and your support. We just continue to evolve this. So this is wonderful. So on behalf of the world, thank you very much.